Hey guys, welcome to my very first video on my YouTube channel, Gamer's Quest. This is something that I've really wanted to do for quite some time, but I've always felt self-conscious about the games I might play or how I might even sound while I'm playing the games, because I tend to play by myself. I don't play with a lot of friends, or I don't have a lot of online friends who play games with me. So I tend to just not talk while I play. So this is going to be a very new experience for me, and I'm just going to do the best I can, and I hope you like it. We'll be starting with, very obviously, Hogwarts Legacy. There are multitude of reasons why I'm starting with this one in particular. Two of the bigger ones, though, is that I do love the Harry Potter universe so much. I read the books when I was a kid. I do remember one memory of my mom trying to read this series to us when it was first coming out, and I don't remember a lot of that, but I eventually started reading it on my own, and I fell in love. The other reason is that it is a fairly new game, and I'm pretty excited to play it, so we're just gonna jump right in, and I'm gonna do my very best not to talk during important story elements so that you guys can get all of the facts. So, let's go. So one of the first things they show you is your acceptance letter into Hogwarts Witchcraft and Wizardry, and if you wanted to go ahead and read this, you can. I'm going to leave it up there for a moment, but the important thing to note here is that you are entering Hogwarts as a fifth-year student, meaning you're already 15 years old, and up until this point, you have had no magic. And I'm very excited to see how that plays out, and I hope they explain it well, because I don't recall anything like this in the lore anywhere on Pottermore or even in the original 7-book series. I don't know. So we'll just move forward. Quick disclaimer. I have played a little bit of this, so I am going to rush just a little bit through a few things, but I am going to try and keep it as coherent as possible. So but when it comes to your character creation, there are a lot of different things to choose from. These are obviously like base models for how you might want your character to look. You could be this character here or this character here, or you could just be anybody you want to. I think initially I chose this particular portrait. I don't think any of the portraits in particular affect height, so I think you're just kind of set with what you have. And then you can fine-tune the details. You can choose different face shapes and nose shapes. I think I went with... It was one of the ones in the top row. That looks good to me. And I do wear glasses in real life, so I gave myself half-moon spectacles. And then, of course, you can change your skin color from the very pale all the way up to the very dark. So however you want to do that, you may do so. And then you can choose your hairstyle. Like I said, I'm going to just try and pound through this. I'm going to try and keep some content fairly similar to my other game, just because that way it's all connected and it's just correct. And then you can even go so far as to change your complexion, so you can have, a very basic complexion, or you could get one of those with darker eyes, or however you want to do it. And then you can add freckles and moles, and even scars, it seems. I personally don't have any scars on my face, so I chose not to do any. You can do eye color, eyebrow color, you can even do eyebrow shape. You could be the very unibrowish look, which does not look good, or you can have no eyebrows at all, which look a little weird on this particular face. So I'm just choosing one that I think looks good. That sounds fine to me. And then, of course, you get to choose your voice. For voice 1, I believe, is a masculine voice. Voice 2 is feminine. And then you can up or down the pitch if you want to. We're just going to go with story mode just to keep it simple. And then you have to do a first and a last name. We're just going to go ahead and do my gamer tag, which is Mr. Legends. Pretty simple. And then of course you can choose which dormitory you want to be in. I'm choosing Wizard. I don't know that this choice actually affects the game too much, so don't fret if you feel like you chose the wrong one. Either is just fine. I'm also going to do my best not to talk through.
It appears we are almost ready to depart. It's a pity we didn't have a bit more time to spend on spellcasting. I presume you've been practicing the spells we worked on.
I have, Professor.
Well, I'm quite sure I've never seen anyone take so quickly to a second-hand wand. You'll be a force to be reckoned with when you get your own.
Thank you, Professor Fig. I appreciate you working with me before the term begins.
Oh, Eleazar!
George, glad my rather cryptic description of our location did not thwart your finding us.
I've apparated to more vaguely defined destinations than this. Though I confess I may have miscalculated slightly on my first try. Gave quite the fright to some theatre-goers in the West End.
It's been much too long. When I received your owl, I must say I...
Best not speak here, Eleazar.
Of course. Why don't we speak en route to Hogwarts? We have a start-of-term feast and a sorting ceremony to get to.
Wonderful idea. As long as your young charge here doesn't mind me tagging along.
Not at all, sir.
After you.
Ages since I've been to the castle. Would be good to see the old pile of rocks.
So, pretty basic setup. It does get really good, so just keep paying attention. Professor Fig is a huge part of the story, obviously yourself, and we still don't know who this gentleman is just yet, but we're gonna keep going. I did want to do a quick shout out to Avalanche Games and Portkey Games for the creation of this game, because graphically it is really impressive. Honestly, it kind of gives me Fable vibes when I play it, like the original Fable game for Xbox. It just feels like that, and the world feels very complete because it's set in a world that's already massive. Something they don't mention at all, or they don't talk about, is that this game is set in like the 1890s, so it is about 100 years before Harry goes to Hogwarts.
Just barely.
And who is your traveling companion?
A new student.
New?
Yes, sir. I'm starting school as a 5th year.
How extraordinary.
It is indeed. None of the faculty has ever heard of anyone being admitted to Hogwarts so late.
Nor have I.
Of course, as the other 5th years will have been honing their magical skills for 4 years now, the headmaster asked if I could get our new student up to speed a bit before the term begins.
Well, you couldn't have asked for a better mentor. Professor Fig is not only an exceptional teacher, he's also a remarkably intuitive and gifted wizard.
Mr. Osric is prone to flattery. I dare say it's one of the reasons he's risen so far at the ministry.
Have you seen this?
I have. Opinions differ as to how great a threat Ranrock really is.
Although I've yet to convince my colleagues at the ministry, I believe he is a significant threat. And it was your wife, Eleazar, who alerted me to his activities months ago.
Miriam? How?
She wrote to me about Ranrock before she died, wondering what the ministry knew about his activities. Before I could respond, I received this. It was the last thing she sent me, Eleazar. It came to me via her owl, but with no correspondence. I can only assume
That she had to get rid of it quickly. To keep it safe.
presumably from Ranrock. I cannot open it. Whatever magic protects this is powerful indeed.
It looks like goblin metal. That symbol.
What's that glow?
I don't see a glow.
Nor do I. Merlin's beard. How did you...
Wait! We do.
Hang on!
It gets so exciting so fast. And what a nice piece of lore they threw in there real quick.
Yeah! Yeah! Jump! The key! Give me your hand! Accio!
So the first time I saw that, I was truly shocked and I just had to put my controller down for a second. It was awesome.
Are you all right? You're hurt.
Perhaps a bit.
Take this. It's Wiggenweld potion. That stuff will right you in a second.
What happened?
Poor George. I can't believe he... What the hell got into that damn thing? Attacking a carriage mid-air? A typical dragon would never...
Professor? Sir, where are we?
I'm not sure. But that key you discovered was clearly a port key.
Port key?
An item enchanted to bring whoever touches it to a specific place.
I'm feeling better, sir, if you'd like to look around a bit.
I would. But stay close. We've no idea who created this port key. Or why.
We're already not very far into the game, and just immediately the graphics and the layout here is just impressive. Like, obviously it's 2023, so games have gotten exceptionally good at how a game
How far did that
looks.
port key take us?
Farther from London than the carriage traveled. We're somewhere in the Scottish Highlands.
Sir, those ruins. Do you
The
think...
port key was meant to lead us there? I do. This has not been the day either of us expected. But Miriam sent that port key to George for a reason. And I believe that she, and now George, died in pursuit of whatever it was meant to lead to. If you're sure you're all right, and wouldn't mind indulging me, I'd like to have a look around.
Absolutely, sir.
Good. Let's see if we can find a path, however faded it may be.
Like, the game is
Mind your step.
really, really beautiful. And this is just the
Where
beginning.
do
It
you
gets
suppose your
a
wife
lot
got
better.
the port key that brought us here?
A good question. Miriam spent years searching for evidence of a long-forgotten form of ancient magic.
Ancient magic?
Yes, a powerful magic wielded by a rare few that seems to have been lost to time. Hogwarts Castle was built by, and is itself a stronghold of that ancient magic. I don't know where she came into possession of the port key, but I am certain it was to do with that search. Ah, there's the path down below. This way.
But sir, why was your wife searching for evidence of lost magic?
Miriam wanted to understand why such powerful magic disappeared from the wizarding world. Spoke of the good it could do. But magic is no different than any power. What really matters is the one who wields it.
Is that ice?
It's not cold enough here. It appears to be a sort of enchantment. Someone wanted to block this path. Let's see some of that wand work you were practicing. Focus on the center.
So you get your first taste of magic right there with just basic cast, which is your main
Excellent.
combat spell, as it shows right there. You get more combat spells, but that one is the simplest
That was a
and
bit
the
rougher
weakest
than
to
I'd
use.
expected.
It can destroy small things, and
Your
when
wand work's improving with every cast.
even when you get
Thank
into the
you, sir.
castle, there are a myriad of things that you can destroy. It's honestly really fun sometimes to see what is possible.
Ah, up there.
As this is the tutorial, there really isn't a lot to explore, but there are a few spots where, like, there are some chests here that only give out galleons as money, so I got 45 galleons there. Go ahead and collect those as much as you can, because
We're
money is
close
hard to
now.
come
It's
by
just ahead.
in the early parts of the game. Eventually it becomes super easy, but collect as much of it as you can in the early game. There's like 6 or 7
Steady
total
yourself.
chests in this prologue, so collect them. It's very useful. It's just so impressive, and I'm just amazed
Almost
by what they
there.
can create now.
Why would someone have built this here?
I suspect they valued their privacy. That portkey led us here for a reason. Let's have a look around for anything that seems out of place.
So I did want to show you really quick another. Oh, that's just nothing there. I mean, it's important and you should listen to the advice the game gives you, but there is another chest on the outside here. And I do believe every time you collect one of those chests, I think it's a random amount of money. I don't think it's set in stone. So but you can come up here and you can inspect this mural.
Professor, it's a mural of some kind.
Perhaps our host was a noted seer. Interesting.
Kind of broken, not much to really see there, but still possibly important. And then you can also inspect
Professor,
this
this
statue.
This may have been his home.
But you don't have to do those. That's just if you want more context for the story. Otherwise, you just kind of walk back behind here, and there's your objective.
That enchanted crystallized stone again. But what could it be blocking? What's this? Professor Fig!
Now we just gotta wait for the professor. Go faster, friend.
How odd. Why would someone have conjured that enchanted stone here?
And how is there a room behind it?
What room? I don't see anything.
There's that glow again, like the glow on the portkey container.
What in Merlin's name? Godric's heart.
Where are we?
I don't believe it.
So they'll talk about it here in just a second, but this is Gringotts, and I don't know the lore in particular about private Gringotts entrances, or even if it exists, but it's definitely interesting to say the least.
It can't be. Just a moment. Ooh.
They also really got the goblins good in this. Like, it does remind me a lot of how they looked in the movies. I think their arms are longer, though, here.
To Gringotts
I don't know
Visiting Bank.
for sure, but...
Vault number 12, I presume. Precisely. The key?
Your wife's portkey.
Oh, yes, of course. This way, then. Stay close. After you. Keep your hands inside the cart if you don't wish to lose them.
How many vaults are there in Gringotts?
Hundreds. In fact, you'll see quite a few on our way to vault number 12. As we speak, we're just beneath the main lobby. The vaults you see now are the newest.
Are private entrances to the bank common at Gringotts?
They are most uncommon. Only one with great wealth or power, or both, could have arranged for such a service.
I do love
A what?
how accurate I feel they got this.
That waterfall washes away all enchantments. It's a security measure.
Also, what
Experienced the
a
thief's
fun
downfall before,
roller
have
coaster
you?
ride. Now, like, obviously it's not a roller
These
coaster
are the
in
lower
particular,
vaults that we're
but
passing
how
now.
fun would this be?
Vault number 12 was commissioned shortly after Gringotts was founded over 4 centuries
just
ago. It resides in the
floored
deepest part of the
by
bank.
this. It's so
Settle in.
cool.
We've quite a distance to go.
Vault number.
Vault 12. Momentous day.
On your way.
Something else, too, that they mention a lot of in the books is the size of Rubeus Hagrid. Obviously, he's a half-giant, so he's a huge individual, but they don't explicitly say how tall he is.
The armband that guard was wearing was glowing.
Like the glow you saw on the portkey container?
No, darker. I saw that same glow on the dragon's collar.
Yeah, what was that? We were just wondering about that goblin back there. He watches over the oldest section of the bank. Rare anyone goes there anymore.
Something I just noticed, they are not wearing seatbelts, which I get that it's magic and they're probably just fine, but they're not wearing seatbelts and they're just dangling open over the open space.
Here we are.
Additionally, what I was saying before is that I believe canonically Hagrid is over 11 feet tall. So just imagine
When was the last time this
Hagrid
vault was accessed?
inside
A goblin
this
has been
cart.
stationed at my desk
And
for
no
hundreds
wonder
of years.
why he hates it so
In
much.
that time, no one has visited Vault 12 until today.
And there's another small chest here that I actually missed the first time, but someone told me about it later. So there is another small chest right here. Oop. We'll get a chance to open it in a second. Again, I think it just contains money, but money is crucial in the early parts of the game, so collect it if you
for your
can.
help.
Something I pointed out in the first time I recorded this is there's just a bunch of like metal ingots here. I feel like that's valuable, and why are they just sitting out like that? It's baffling. Gringotts goblins need to get better at what they're doing.
What do you suppose we should be looking for?
I'm not sure. Sir, I wonder if you
The
might...
instructions for Vault 12 indicate that I am to grant access to the holder of the key and then close the door.
Wait.
And now we're in prison.
Professor?
That was certainly unexpected. Let me think. There must be something here. Revelio, perhaps?
Revelio?
Yes, a revealing charm. No time like the present. Let's see what we're missing, shall we? Ready your wand and focus.
And so this is how all spells in this game are learned. You have to start them by pressing A, but then you just use the joystick or your mouse or whatever to follow the path and try to hit the buttons along with them. It's super simple, and I don't know, it's just kind of... it's what it is.
Revelio! There! I saw something.
Move a bit closer and try again.
And we just learned perhaps the most important spell of the game, Revelio, which pinpoints anything in your area and gives off a soft glow so you
that's a
can
start.
locate whatever it is you're
There's that
looking
symbol
for.
again. I don't suppose you see a way to...
I do, Professor. That symbol has the same glow as the one I saw on the port key container.
If what you can see reveals the way forward, then I dare say we are about to discover the secret of this vault. Lead the way. Lumos! This is no ordinary vault. I suspect we will need to earn our way out of here.
What do you mean, earn our way out? Do you think this is some sort of test?
I do. But to what end, I can't say.
Revelio!
Stay close. There will be no disapparating if things go poorly. Not out of Gringotts.
So there are a few chests in this area. You can skip them if you want. It's just money, but and they are very much hidden in the dark, and you have to use Revelio to find them, which is the whole point of Revelio, so you can find things. I did also want to mention that
I
this
see
does
something
give
up ahead.
off
What is it?
That
strong,
glow again, but on
like,
the floor.
Mines of Moria vibes, just because, like, that's how they designed it in...
Revelio!
That's how they designed it in the movie, and when I first saw it, I was just like, oh my goodness, I'm in the Mines of Moria. What a crazy crossover we're about to have. I just kept waiting for the Balrog to just appear out of nowhere, and I would have to fight it.
When I moved towards the glow, it suddenly seemed as if the ground was swirling about.
Are you all right?
Yes, sir, I'm fine.
You seem to have caused the floor to change.
That statue.
What statue?
I see some sort of statue, but only as a reflection in the floor. Revelio!
I presume this is what you saw reflected in the floor.
It is. The reflection's still there, but the statue's positions don't match. Wait, when you moved, the reflection turned in the direction of the light.
Perhaps you should cast Lumos.
And your second spell of the game. Most of them are pretty simple.
Lumos!
Well done.
Now the reflection is turning towards me. It does follow the light.
obviously all you have right now is basic cast, but
Protego!
it's pretty, it's not super complicated combat right now anyway. I did make note of it earlier, so I'm fairly certain that the magic system, or specifically the words that spells are based around, is Latin in origin. I'm not sure, but I'm almost positive that that's the case.
Lumos.
And that
Professor!
particular scene,
Professor Fig! Professor,
That-
where are you? This isn't
that
good.
particular scene with the professor fighting off those statues and just having a rapid succession of spells, I was like, you know, there are a lot
Where
of
am I supposed to
O's
go?
at the endings of words in this
What's
particular
happening? The wisps
in
of
this
magic
particular
seem
genre.
to be leading me somewhere.
So there's
Lumos.
the next chest. Not too far out of the way, but it just strikes me as odd that there's lots of O endings for spells. Levioso, Depulso,
That's where they're
Accio.
leading me.
Like it's
That
just
glow again.
it's very odd when you hear a bunch of them in succession.
Revelio. I suppose I'm on my own this time. Protego! Stupefy!
Something that took a bit to get used to is that your targeting system is based on where you point your camera. So you can hold Y to, you can press Y to do Protego, but if you hold Y, you can do Stupefy, and it just does bonus damage when you use it. But so where you point is ultimately where your spell goes. Now, obviously, there is a setting that can disable that, so it just locks onto the nearest one, I think. I'm not totally certain because I tried it and I don't like that particular setting. So I just do the point method, which works just fine anyway. The combat's not super complicated, so don't make it complicated.
Lumos.
Okay. And then, of course, you can sprint at some point, too. And it's just a tap. Like, once you're in sprint, you stay in sprint until you stop. So, I do believe there is another chest somewhere, isn't there? Could have swore there was another chest. Maybe there's not, and I'm just misremembering things. Yeah, I think I'm just misremembering things. So, but there is, in fact, 2 small chests in this room here. One on either side. There's one there, and one right there. So, be sure to grab them really quick. And then, this thing. What could it be?
There you are. How did you... What is this place?
I don't know. But I found this floating above that basin.
That is no mere basin. That is a pensive for viewing memories. I wonder...
So initially I was very confused by this
Follow
because
my lead.
I had assumed that there was only one pensive in existence and that Dumbledore owned it. So it was either this was Dumbledore's pensive or it was a lie. But I've now learned that Dumbledore's pensive was not the only pensive. Dumbledore's pensive in particular, however, is found
All is in place.
at Hogwarts.
The portkey is
It was
working.
originally found at
Perhaps too well.
Hogwarts.
I wonder if the path we've created
May be impossible to follow. It will only be impossible for one who cannot see traces of ancient magic as I can.
Your ability to see what others cannot will not be enough, Percival. We are entrusting the one who embarks on this path with powerful secrets, with knowledge others will do anything to obtain.
Yes, and if we are correct, Charles, the witch or wizard who completes the trials will have proven themselves worthy of that knowledge, and the responsibility that accompanies it.
We've done all that we can.
And so I think the pensive that Dumbledore has is just passed
That's
down
what you're seeing.
to each headmaster.
The glow
I think that's
that
the
surrounded them.
fact.
Yes, sir.
Astonishing.
Can I see magic?
Traces of an ancient magic, to be precise. The magic that Miriam had always believed existed, but could never. Miriam, and perhaps George, died in pursuit of knowledge that has been dormant for centuries. And you, it seems, are the key to understanding why. We were...
It all looks rather different than it did a moment ago.
Someone's coming.
Who were they?
I don't know. But, sir, you shouldn't be in here.
I was right.
Ranrock.
Seems my reputation precedes me. I was beginning to think no one was ever going to visit Rackham's Vault.
And why are you here?
No need for that. Just give me whatever it is you found here and we can let bygones be bygones.
Sir, they have the key to the vault.
Choose your next words wisely.
I only meant that the instructions to Vault 12 were quite clear. Sir, I must insist. I was to grant access only to one with the key, and you didn't have...
I have no patience for traitors. Now, where were we?
I'm not giving you anything.
Well, perhaps your young friend here will be more helpful.
I highly doubt that, Ranrock. So, I'm not sure who all saw it, but this statue that comes to life reminded me so much of Flash Season 3, where the main antagonist is a speedster named Savitar, and this statue gave huge Savitar vibes. And obviously it's not a speedster, but like just the way it looks makes it feel that way. Also, what a massive statue, powered by magic. It's so exciting. What a great way to start a brand new game.
Are you all right?
Fine, sir.
I've never seen so powerful a goblin. He seemed wholly unaffected by my magic.
Where are we?
It can't be. It seems those who set up the pensive, the locket, and the path to both wanted someone with your ability to end up here. Come. We have a sorting ceremony to get to.
It's an excellent prologue, and I was initially hooked pretty early on, but after that, you're just like, okay, now I have to finish this game, because like there's the Hogwarts Express, and it's just everything that I wanted it to be. And your first look at Hogwarts Castle, I mean, it is a beautiful shot, and it's well constructed by the animators and the creators and the teams involved with this. Like, well done, game creators. I applaud you. I really, really do. So now we're getting to some of the more interesting bits of the exploration of the game. So in a moment here, we're going to get to choose our Hogwarts house, and you can choose any house you want. So if you want Gryffindor, go for Gryffindor. If you want somebody else or something else, go for something else.
But that seems more appropriate. Now, I need to study this locket as soon as I can, but first I must contact the Ministry. They need to know what happened to George and be warned of Ranrock. For the moment, I ask that you keep all that's happened this evening between you and me.
Of course, sir.
Thank you. Ready for the sorting ceremony? Phineas, Nigellus, Black. Prepare yourself to meet
who, if you don't remember, plays a small role in the Harry Potter books.
Nice of you to join us. The sorting ceremony's over.
There were complications.
Complications?
It seems the goblin problem has...
Enough. Goblins. I've no time for rumors, Fig, and I'm rapidly losing whatever patience I had left. If you're lucky, we might still be able to get you sorted this evening.
And
I'll be in touch.
And if you recall again, apparently he was not a very good Hogwarts headmaster. Like, many truly disliked him. So, it's very interesting
Professor
to see
Weasley,
that actually
we've
play
one
out.
more to be sorted.
Welcome. You're just in time. Have a seat.
I'm also assuming that this is an ancestor, well, not an ancestor, but a relative of Arthur Weasley. I don't think she's his mother, maybe grandmother, or maybe her
You come here with
aunt or great aunt or something.
Preconceptions.
I'm not sure.
Certain
They probably won't explain it.
Expectations.
I'm looking forward to exploring Hogwarts and the world beyond the castle and grounds.
Indeed. Much can be gleaned by having an adventurous spirit, but your professors have a great deal to teach you as well. I wonder... I detect something in you. A certain sense of... what is it?
So these are the initial 4 choices. So daring for Gryffindor, curiosity for Ravenclaw, and I'm not sure which is which. I believe loyalty is supposed to be Hufflepuff and ambition is supposed to be Slytherin, but they might also be reversed. But it doesn't matter which one you choose here. You can ultimately choose
A
exactly
desire
which
to learn?
house
I
you
do
want to be
enjoy
a
a
part
good puzzle,
of.
and I believe I have a ready mind.
I chose Ravenclaw the first
You're
time, so I'm
clever
also going to
indeed.
choose Ravenclaw
You have the
again.
ability to reflect clearly on that which puzzles others. And you've a ready mind, quick to learn. Perhaps you belong in Ravenclaw.
So, and then you can choose a different house if you want to. I'm just going to stick with Ravenclaw, and this choice does matter a little bit. So there are a few side quests that are associated with the house you pick. I'm not sure what those quests are, or even if I've found the Ravenclaw quest, but I do know for a fact that the Hufflepuff quest line takes you outside of Hogwarts and actually takes you into Azkaban. If that's something you're interested in, pick Hufflepuff. But each house has a unique quest line, and you will get to experience that depending on which one you pick.
You belong in Ravenclaw!
Oh, and one more thing. Due to the unfortunate injury on the pitch in last spring's final, this year's Quidditch season has been cancelled.
Definitely one of the reasons he was unliked.
Enough! It's not as though I've banned flying altogether, but don't tempt me. You are here to focus on your academic futures. I'm sure you will have plenty to do before classes begin tomorrow. I said, I'm sure you all have plenty to do before classes begin tomorrow.
Quite an entrance. It's lovely to meet you.
Professor Weasley, would you be so kind as to show our new student to their common room?
I shall see to it, sir. As I was saying, I'm Professor Weasley. Pleased to meet you.
Nice to meet you as well, Professor.
As Deputy Headmistress, it is my distinct honor to show you to your common room. Right this way.
Yeah, given the time frame, she has to be Arthur Weasley's
It's quite
great
uncommon for a
aunt
student to begin
or
as a fifth year.
grandmother.
Might be a bit of a challenge, but one I'm sure you're up for.
I am, Professor.
This is the entrance to the Ravenclaw common room. You must solve a riddle to enter. I won't be of much help, I'm afraid. This sort of thing has always confounded me.
Who lived longer? The ghost or the poltergeist?
A ghost or a poltergeist? A non-being can never have been.
I was really disappointed because I wanted to solve that myself,
Well done.
and it's
Now,
the only
go on
time
in
it
and get some
appears.
sleep. You have a big day ahead of you
Like,
tomorrow.
I
shall
was
be back
so
in the
looking
morning to
forward.
collect you for your first class.
Sorry.
Thank you, Professor Weasley.
You're welcome. I hope you enjoy your first night at Hogwarts. Sleep well.
I was really hoping that every time you had to enter your common room, you had to give the password or solve the riddle or do the thing. And I was just immensely disappointed with that fact because Ravenclaw in particular seems
Looks like everyone's gone.
truly
Let's head to the
challenging
common room.
because you actually have to solve a riddle. You have to use logic or your intelligence to do so. And because, like, obviously with Gryffindor and Slytherin, you just have to say a password, and as long as you know the password, the door will be open to you. I'm not totally sure how Hufflepuff's works, but I do know that their house is actually in the kitchens. And I don't know if it's a password or what, but anyway, this is your dormitory. You do eventually get an owl that will sit on this perch right here, and he will bring you post from your various classmates, and they'll all have side quests or interesting things to say. So, I'm not going to do much exploring because I'm just trying to get the story done for you guys. So we're just going to move through the story here without rushing, of course.
One moment. Watch this.
Ugh! What is this? Someone threw a dung bomb. Let's get out of here.
That wasn't quite the reaction I wanted. Oh well.
Right. What did you hope would happen?
I suppose I hoped it would lighten the mood. Ravenclaws can be a bit on edge the first day of class. I'm Everett, by the way. You seem downright calm next to some of these characters, and you survived a rather harrowing trip here.
I'm glad to be here. Ready for classes to start.
Good. Glad to hear it. Truly, there's no reason to be nervous. Most professors are firm but fair. I mean, not all of the tricks I play are as simple as a tossed dung bomb, and I'm still here.
Wait, did you say most professors are fun but fair?
Ha! I did. But probably best I let you judge for yourself. I do tend to push their limits. I should wander off before someone traces that dung bomb back to me. Nice meeting you.
You too, Everett.
I'm also fairly certain that, depending on your house, the friends you meet are different for each one.
Not right either.
So we're going to talk to Samantha Dale here real quick. I'm going to try
I want
and...
him to be in the perfect place. A place he'll be happy with. But I can't seem to find it. Great golden gobstones! I want him to thrive here.
Golden gobstones?
My own little expression. I bought this Dittany seedling from home, and I so want him to feel cozy. Dittany is amazing, isn't it? So much healing power in such a little plant. I've a bit of a thing for plants, as you can see. Pleased to meet you. I'm Samantha.
Nice to meet you, Samantha. Is Dittany used in Wiggenweld potion?
It is. Looks like someone's been studying up on their potion making.
Actually, Professor Fig told me about the Wiggenweld potion.
Of course. I heard you were studying with him before term. He's an enigma, Fig. Teaches about theory, yet seems to know a lot about practical magic.
Professor Fig does know a great deal about, different forms of magic.
Well, I hope he told you about more than Wiggenweld. You've lots to catch up on, I'm sure.
And then, of course, there are multiple options. These particular ones are just information dumps. I am going to go ahead and...
Is it common practice for students to grow their own
go
ingredients?
through them quickly?
Oh, yes. In fact, our herbology teacher, Professor Garlick, encourages it. And I don't think Professor Sharp, our potions master, cares where you get your ingredients, as long as your brews are all perfect.
Which is a nice bit of foreshadowing later.
An affinity for herbology is more typical of a Hufflepuff than a Ravenclaw, isn't it?
Ordinarily, perhaps, but it runs in my family. We've a full plot of these little fellows back home. I suppose you could say herbology is in my roots.
It was nice to meet you, Samantha. Good luck with your Dittany.
Thank you. And good luck to you too on your first day.
That's just brilliant, Amit.
Amit
Brilliant.
Thakar.
You'd think you could... Ah! That is not... Why, hello. Would you like to take a look? Can't see too much in the day. Well, except for stars like Sirius, Canopus, Vega, and Arcturus. I'm Amit. Pleasure to have you in Ravenclaw. Never met someone who's been so close to a dragon before.
Can't say I'd recommend it, frankly. It's nice to meet you, Amit.
How did they
I
find
take it you
out?
like astronomy.
Oh, yes. So
literally
much
just
to be learned
happened.
from the stars. Also, there's something about the open air and night sky above the tower. It's invigorating. You will adore astronomy. Professor Shaw is incredibly knowledgeable.
I hope astronomy's on my schedule. Sounds interesting.
I have good news for you. You are most definitely taking astronomy. It is required for all fifth years. You will be enthralled with the tower. Plus, a quality telescope can show you things you never dreamed of.
I suppose I'll see you in class then.
Yes. Oh, and speaking of class, better get to my first one of the year. Nothing like the smell of fresh parchment, is there? Be seeing you!
Hey there, new Ravenclaw. Professor Weasley is looking for you just outside. You'd best not keep her waiting.
There is the Grey Lady, I believe that's who that is. And then there's, of course, the statue of Rowena Ravenclaw herself. So something that they haven't touched on in this story just yet is who you are specifically. Like, obviously, you're just playing yourself. So if you're Greg or Karen or Samantha or whoever, like, you're playing yourself. But, like, they don't explain...
Good morning. I trust you're ready for your first day at Hogwarts?
I've been dreaming of this day for a long time. Can't believe I'm here.
Well, you are here. Make the most of it. You only have one first day at Hogwarts. Now, in light of your unique situation, joining us as a fifth year, you'll need to catch up with your classmates and not fall behind. Especially as you'll be expected to complete your OWLs at the end of the year.
OWLs? Owls?
Yes, your ordinary wizarding level exams. They will determine what type of career you can have when you leave here. After much discussion with the headmaster and the Department of Magical Education at the Ministry, we've devised something extraordinary to ensure your success. Here you are.
What is it?
It is a wizard's field guide. It will help you to keep track of what you are learning so that you master all that's expected of a fifth year. You would be wise to take full advantage of this exceptionally valuable resource.
Thank you, Professor, but what do you mean it will keep track of what I'm learning?
Perhaps seeing it in action will answer any questions you may have. Walk with me and we shall put it to the test.
What I was saying before is, like, they don't explain your lineage too much.
To practice your magic and educate yourself about wizarding lore.
Like, there's enough hints in here that indicate that you are from a wizarding family, but, like...
I certainly would have appreciated something like the field guide when I was a student.
No particular information on whether you're from a prominent wizarding family or...
Why don't you cast Revelio on this bust and see what details the field guide can provide?
Or, like, there's just not enough information on who you are. You know what I mean? I mean, again, clearly you're just supposed to be you, but... it just strikes me as odd that you don't know your background in particular.
Keep your eyes open for more opportunities.
And hopefully they get to reveal that
inside and outside
later
of the
in the story. Also...
no time to waste. You've classes to attend.
Also, I mean, you could just be from a Muggle family, which I don't think that's true. Because I mean, Hermione Granger's a good example of this, but I mean, if you were from a Muggle family, I feel like you might struggle a little. But it does seem like you have some knowledge.
Ah, good timing.
So,
Perfect
I don't know.
opportunity to show you how to use flue flames to get around a bit quicker. Your field guide contains a map of the castle. Open it up and find Central Hall.
So this particular feature is only for gameplay purposes, because obviously if they had this in Hogwarts, Harry would have known exactly what flue powder was in his second year, and he would never have been late to Transfiguration. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's purely a gameplay thing, but it does work, and it's a very good system, and there's lots of places to fast travel
here we
to.
are. Quite the time saver. These stairs lead directly to Central Hall. You can get almost anywhere in the castle quickly from Central Hall. Always something happening here. It's the heart of the Hive, our King's Cross station, so to speak.
Wouldn't be surprised.
That should be all for now. You'll be expected to attend both Charms and Defense Against the Dark Arts classes today. And I'd like to be sure you get to Hogsmeade as soon as possible to replace the supplies you lost on the way here.
Can you tell me more about the Defense Against the Dark Arts class?
Defense Against the Dark Arts, as the name implies, focuses on how to defend oneself against the evils that lurk beyond these walls. A mastery of Defense Against the Dark Arts is required for those who aspire to become Aurors. Fortunately, we are lucky to have the ever-gifted Professor Hecat in charge of our students' education in that regard.
What will
I wonder if you
Charms
actually get
class?
to make a
Exactly
choice
what you might expect.
for your career
Spells,
at the end
charms,
of this
jinxes, all terribly useful. I think you will enjoy Professor Ronan. He's a clever and entertaining wizard, and a talented teacher.
You mentioned Hogsmeade, Professor.
Hogsmeade is the only all-wizarding village in Britain, and is home to an array of shops and pubs. You should be able to find all of the school supplies you require in Hogsmeade. You will also, I imagine, enjoy many a butterbeer there with friends in due course.
Thank you, Professor Weasley.
A lot to absorb on your first day, and you have much to learn. Happily, your professors have agreed to create additional assignments for you outside of class. You'll be up to speed in no time. Judging by your adept use of Revelio earlier, I'd say Professor Fig succeeded in at least showing you the basics.
He did, Professor.
He's been terribly vague as to the events preceding your arrival, specifically about what happened after that awful dragon attack. My suspicion is that there's more to the story than a search for belongings and an extended trip up to the castle.
I'm sorry, Professor, but I'm afraid that's all there is to it.
Almost precisely what Professor Fig said. Speak of the devil, Professor Fig. Your ears must have been burning.
Oh?
Yes. You seem to have provided our new fifth year with a solid foundation in the basics of spellcasting.
Ah, I'm afraid I can't take all the credit there, Professor. They've a rare aptitude for magic, it seems.
Well, I'm just glad you both arrived in one piece. Perfectly good boats and carriages to Hogwarts, and you chose to fly in the path of a dragon.
I wouldn't say I chose the dragon's path, Professor. Rather unfortunately, it would seem that it chose us.
Very well. Enough chit-chat. I need to get to class myself. Might I rely on you, Professor Fig, to explain the details of the field guide's map?
Of course.
Thank you. Good luck today. And remember to use your field guide. It will be invaluable to you. And invaluable
So much
to me,
dialogue.
as I'll be using it to keep up to date on your progress.
Yes, Professor.
Come and find me in my classroom after you've attended both classes today, and I'll explain more about those assignments I mentioned. And we'll see if we can't get you to Hogsmeade for those supplies.
It's good to see you, Professor.
And you. I was hoping our paths would cross today, before you immersed yourself in studies. Did I hear you masterfully evade Professor Weasley's interrogation regarding our late arrival?
I did try to evade her questions, though I feel a little deceptive. That said, I I'm fairly certain she suspects that we're not being entirely forthcoming.
Yes, well, Professor Weasley is a brilliant and astute witch. It was right to keep the details to yourself for now. We don't know where this path we've embarked upon will lead. It may require a bit more flexibility with your time than she would approve of. And she may feel obliged to share details with the headmaster that would be better left between us.
Understood, Professor.
Good. Now, as capable as you are, I believe the ability you possess obliges you to be well trained. Happily, you have the benefit of an exceptionally skilled team of witches and wizards to guide you. Speaking of guides, and so that I may avoid another not-so-subtle reproof from Professor Weasley, why don't I show you the clever enchantment we included in the field guide's map? Unfold it and have a look.
So obviously, gold icons are your main quests that you have to embark on, and gray ones or silver ones are your side quests. And in the early parts of the game here, I highly recommend that you do the main quests.
The map is enchanted to help you find your way.
At least through Hogsmeade.
Thank you.
Now, sounds like you've quite a day ahead, what with classes and a trip to Hogsmeade for supplies, including your own wand. You'll enjoy Mr. Ollivander. He's an exceptional craftsman and a good friend. I shall reach out when I have more information about our mysterious locket. For now, focus on your classes and pay attention. More than your owls may hinge on the magic you are able to master within these walls.
And it's probably just an obvious statement, but it's one of those early bits of it's one of those early tips that you often hear people say, because it's exactly as true as you want it to be. Because you only know a few spells right now, and none of them are all that powerful. You have Lumos and Revelio. Ooh, that's so dangerous to people. But I would say do the main quest lines at least until you get through Hogsmeade, and then after that you can do your side quests, and you can explore the castle. There's so much here that you're gonna miss a fair bit, but you're also going to hit a lot of it in the main quests. So just do the main quests, at least to start.
Stay behind! Is that all you've got? Yeah.
Levioso! Professor Hecat! Perhaps you'd be good enough to blast each other to pieces on your own time. I get new students every year, but I only have one Hebridean black skull. It was a token from the Great Poacher Raid of 1878. No doubt you've heard of it. Now, you may be asking yourself how an old woman like me single-handedly took out the largest poacher ring in eastern Wales and lived to boast about it. Knowledge.
What an interesting bit of story for her.
To the wise, age matters very little. Today we will review a spell that has saved me from death at the hands of dark wizards more times than I care to remember. Levioso.
Levioso? A levitation charm?
Levioso! A surprised opponent is a weak opponent. Care to defend yourself, Master Pruitt? No? One thing I've learned as an unspeakable is the value of simplicity, especially in the heat of battle. Now, let's practice what we've just learned, starting with something small.
If you remember, an unspeakable is the the Ministry of Magic employee that works in the Department of Mysteries. So she clearly knows quite a bit.
Levioso.
But what I was saying before about the dragon skeleton on the hanging from the ceiling there is like,
Now,
she took
let's
down a
try
poacher
something a
ring,
little larger.
and then the people of the area she took them out from, they're just like, thanks for defending us from these poachers. Here, have this skeleton. It's just a funny and potentially ironic piece of trivia. It's just funny to me.
Let us begin with the basic cast. See how the dummy deflected your cast? This time, cast Levioso first, then the basic cast. Remember, a surprise Levioso. Good. Well done. Very good. But the best way to practice is by dueling. We'll start with you two. Duelists, take your marks.
Time for a proper Hogwarts welcome.
Now, I want a fair duel, using only Levioso, basic cast, and Protego. You may begin.
This should be easy. Levioso! Good form.
It's so funny that you're just expected to know how to duel on your first day.
Let's just say I'm a quick learner. Protego! Stupefy!
Don't forget to do the stupefy.
Students with us to death. I do enjoy a lively duel.
So as soon as he falls to the ground, you win and it's over.
Not bad for a beginner. You give as good as you get.
I put you on the spot, and you rose to the challenge. Points to Ravenclaw.
Thank you, Professor Hackett.
They never say
Glad
how
to have
many
the
points,
opportunity
just
to practice.
points.
If what I've seen today is any indication, we can expect great things from you. I demand excellence from my students. They are capable of achieving it, and they must achieve it. A classroom duel is one thing, but battling dark wizards, or as ever more likely, goblins, is a different kettle of Grindylows entirely.
Understood, Professor.
So, I'd advise you to keep practicing whenever you can. Perhaps Mr. Sallow will have some ideas for you. Again, well done today. I shall reach out soon with additional assignments.
So Sebastian Sallow
That's
becomes
enough
your
spectacle
friend
for one day.
in this game,
Class is dismissed.
and his storyline and side quests, I'm certain are
Nice work.
associated with. So like these are all of the spells you can potentially learn, but his side quests specifically deal with learning these three bottom curses, which are all three unforgivable curses: Imperio, Crucio, and the Killing Curse. I haven't started doing any of those, but I am excited about the prospect that I can just learn these spells. So,
I enjoyed that.
Well, that duel was quite something. Everyone will be talking about it.
It was certainly good practice.
Practice? It felt more like I was dueling an expert. Sebastian Sallow, by the way. Didn't expect a new student to be so deft with a wand. Then again, perhaps this wasn't your first duel.
In fact, it was. Perhaps I have a knack for it.
Be coy if you like, but I know better. Magic requires intention and talent. You know, you might be a perfect fit for a certain exclusive, unsanctioned dueling organization.
Exclusive and unsanctioned. Count me in.
Excellent. Knew I was right about you. If you want to get the most out of your time at Hogwarts, you're going to need to break the rules now and then. Whether it's joining a secret dueling club, or sneaking into the restricted section of the library, you just have to be clever enough not to get caught.
Thank you, Sebastian. I'll keep that in mind.
Good. Pleasure chatting with you. I'm sure I'll see you soon. Perhaps somewhere unsanctioned? We'll see if your performance today was sheer luck or actual skill. Look for Luke and Brattleby near the clock tower entrance, if you're interested. Till next time.